पदान्तिकम् वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश श्रीरूपं सागरजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नम ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यस्य कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna. So welcome back to the Nectar of Instructions Bhakti Shastri discussion. Yesterday we completed the 9th text. So today we'll take up the 10th one. So this is also same that Sardhul Vikreed the meter. Karmibhya parito hare priyataya vyaktim yayurgyaninas tebhyo jnana vimukta bhakti paramah प्रेमेकनिष्ठास्ततः तेभ्यस्ताः पशुपालपङ्कजदृशस्ताभ्योऽपि साराधिका प्रेष्टा तद्वद् इयं तदीयसरसि तां नाश्रेत् कः कृति. Very, very beautiful meter and beautiful verse. So I'll also recite it once again, and please hear it. You also can recite with me together. कर्मेभ्यः परितो हरे प्रियतया व्यक्तिं ययोर्ज्ञानिनस् तेभ्यो ज्ञान विमुक्त भक्ति परमः प्रेमेकनिष्ठास्ततः तेभ्यस्ताः पशुपाल पंकज दृशास्ताभ्योऽपि साराधिका पृष्ठा तद्वद् इयं तदसि तदय सरसि तां नाश्रेत् कृति. Okay, anyone would like to try? Raise your hands. Difficult, but still, somebody would like to try this recitation. Anyone? Okay, I'll only recite once again. Please hear again attentively. कर्मेभ्यः परितो हरे प्रियतया व्यक्तिं ययोर्ज्ञानिनस् तेभ्यो ज्ञान विमुक्त भक्ति परमः प्रेमेकनिष्ठास्ततः तेभ्यस्ताः पशुपाल पंकज दृशास्ताभ्योऽपि साराधिका पृष्ठा तद्वद् इयं तदय सरसि तां नाश्रेत् कृति. In the Shastra, it is said that of all types of fruitive workers, karmibhya is plural, so it is bahuvachan. Karmibhya parita hare. He who is advanced in the higher knowledge of higher values of life, Vyaktim Yayurganis, is favored by the Supreme Lord Hari Priyataya. Please remember that the karmi is also very dear to the Lord, but superior to the karmis of the Gyanis, and they are more favored by the Lord. They are more priyataya. So dear, more dear. There. Out of many such people who are advanced in knowledge, that is Gyanis, one who is practically liberated by virtue of his knowledge, Tebyo Vyana Vimukta, may take to devotional service, Bhakti Parama. So the Gyanis who are liberated, when they take to devotional service, they are like Bhaunam Janmanamante Gyanavan Mam Prapadyate Vasudeva Sarmamiti Sahamaatma Sudurlabha. Such souls are very, very rare. The Gyanis who are already liberated, who take up to devotion. Any classic example you knew from the Bhagavatam? The Gyanis who are already liberated, Jnana Vimukta, who are already liberated by practice of Gyan, they took up to Bhakti. Any examples you know? Please raise your hands from the Bhagavatam or Chaitanya Charitamrita or any scriptures. Anyone knows? Raise your hands. Yes, Prashant Shanbag Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yeah, you have to speak a little loudly, please.
Yes, true. Sukadev Goswami and four Kumaras.
Excellent. Both the examples what you have given are perfect examples. I don't know why the audio is quite low. Yeah, Sukdev Goswami and the four Kumaras. They are the classic examples. So they took to bhakti. He is superior to others. So those who take up to bhakti are superior to the Jnana Vimukta. However, one who is actually attained prema, pure love for Krishna, is superior to premeka nishtas tata. So by being liberated as Jnani, he takes up to bhakti and he becomes a sadhaka. That means he starts practicing Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti. And by Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti, he attains Sadhya Bhakti. Of course, he does Raganuga and then attains Bhava Bhakti or Prema Bhakti. That is Prema, becomes a Premi. Then he is superior to that Sadhaka. Premeka Nishtastata. The gopis are the exalted above all the advanced devotees because they are always totally dependent on Krishna, the transcendental cowherd boy. Tebyasta Pashupala Pankaja Drishas. This Pashupala. Pashupal means he is the one who is the cowherder, Pashupala. Pankaja Drisha has a very deep meaning. Pankaja means the Lord eyes are like lotus. Drisha means the eyes are always seeing the gopis. Krishna's eyes who are fixed on the, devotion of the gopis and always looking at the gopis. And the gopis, why Krishna is always looking at them? Because they are totally dependent on Krishna. Surrender. The highest personification is the gopis of Vrindavan. So the gopis also have prema, but they have the highest prema. So one who has ordinarily attained prema, a Shant Bhakta also might attain prema, the Dasya Bhakta, the Vatsalya Bhakta, and the Madhurya. But the Madhurya Bhakta, the gopis, they are superior. And among the gopis, Srimati Radharani is the most dear to Krishna. Tabyopi sa Radhika. Sa is thrilling, Radhika. Her Kundalik is as profoundly dear to Lord Krishna as this most beloved of the gopis, Preshta. Another name of Radharani is Preshta. She is very, very dear to Krishna. Preshta tadvad iyam tadaya sarasi. As much as Krishna is, very, very, Srimati Radharani is most dear to Krishna, that much only Radha Kund is also dear to Krishna. There is no difference between the two because Radha Kund, in fact, is not different from Srimati Radharani. Yesterday it came up, I think, the discussion where it is mentioned. Who then will not reside at Radha Kund and in a spiritual body surcharged with ecstatic devotional feelings? Aprakrita bhav. Now here is a very, very important, you want to reside in Radha Kund, then you should be in aprakrita bhav. That means you should be in a spiritual body. That means by Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti, you should have attained Raganuga Sadhana, attained Bhava Bhakti, because at Bhava Bhakti, your spiritual body is revealed. Only then you are qualified to reside at Radha Kund. And I mentioned yesterday the highest personification of residing in Radha Kund is preaching the message of Bhakti all over the world. That is pleasing to Radharani. And it's as good as staying in Radhakund. And it is more safer, in fact, in one sense, than to stay in Radhakund. And that's a higher service. That is what is more pleasing to Krishna and Srimati Radharani. Because bhakti belongs to Srimati Radharani. And one who is preaching the glories of bhakti, Radharani is always, blessing that devotee. Render loving service to the divine couple Sri Radha Govind who perform their Ashtakalya Leela, their eternal eightfold daily pastimes. Indeed, those who execute devotional service on the banks of Radhakund are the most fortunate people in the universe. Tam na ashret kah kriti. So, of course, the Prabhupada gives a lot of explanation also in the purport and the translation, although it is not mentioned who in a spiritual body, but it is understood from the flow of the verses from the Updeshamrit, from text 8, which is Raganuga Sadhana, and text 9 is Bhava, from that. So we have been seeing that within the flow of Updeshamrit, text 1, 2, and 3 were speaking about controlling of the senses, the conditional urges and the constitutional urges by 6 Sad Pratikul and Sad Anukul Gun. So, and then text 4, 5, 6 were speaking about association. What are the 6 loving exchanges we do in the association of devotees? And then, how a Madhyamadikari should associate with Kanishth Uttam and respect them, and how a Madhyamadikari should associate uh, with the Uttamadikari. And then 7 and 8 come to the process of executing Krishna consciousness. In that sense, 1 to 6 are common for even outside people. 7 and 8 are specific to sadhakas, how to execute bhajan, what is the pranali, what is the methodology, kintu adarat. So in that sense, how the sambandh gyan, how to become detached from this world and attached to Krishna through chanting of the holy name. And the abhidheya is Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti, which is spoken in text 7, and 8th spoke about Raganuga Sadhana. And Raganuga Sadhana means the Ragatmika Bhaktas belong to Vrindavan. So then that's why Rupa Goswami in text 9 spoke about Vrindavan, the glory of Vrindavan, the hierarchy of places he spoke. And we saw yesterday it was Bhajana Stali Madhe Sarva Shresht. Now, in text 9, Bhaktivinoda Thakur mentions Bhajanakari Madhe Sarva Shresht. Among all the devotees who are performing bhajan, the karmis are also doing bhajan, the jnanis are also doing bhajan in one sense, the devotees are also doing bhajan who are sadhakas, the Raganuga bhaktas are also doing bhajan, the Bhava bhaktas are doing bhajan, the Premi bhaktas are doing bhajan, the Sakya, Vatsalya devotees are also doing bhajan, but the Madhurya bhaktas who are doing, Preeti bhajan, all are doing Preeti bhajan in one sense, they are very dear to Krishna. So Bhajanakari Madhe Sarvashresht. Who is it? It is Srimati Radharani, and also her lake is also very dear to Krishna as much as Srimati Radharani. Now, here is a very deep secret that, if you actually, this verse is speaking about whom you should associate with. Like if you become what you associate with. Like if you associate with drunkards, you become a drunkard. So that is the lowest. But what is the highest you can aspire for? If you associate with the gopis of Nand Maharaj village, that is Vraja, then you will also become a gopi serving Sri Krishna in Radhakund. Because Srimati Radharani is the topmost gopi and her maid servants serve there. And if you associate with them, of course, that association is how through the practice of Raganuga Sadhana, we have studied that a little bit. We did not go into detail. That we follow in the footsteps of the Ragatmika Bhaktas. That means we are associating with them. And this is how we can ultimately reach Radhakund by that association. So, if you associate with Karmis, then you will also become Karmi. If you associate with Gyanis, you'll become a Gyani. but associate with the gopis, you'll also serve Krishna in the wake of the gopis. Ramya Kachitopasana Vrajavadu. So we can see that Vedic education is spiral in nature. We something learn in the beginning very little, and in the advanced stages we study that same thing in a very advanced level, and we return to the first thing, but again from a very very high perspective. So we encounter sometimes in Krishna consciousness the same situations, but each time, our understanding of Krishna consciousness gets deepened, and we get a deeper perspective. So we spoke about first verse association, that one should associate with the Mahabhagat, and now here it is spoken association. You should associate with the gopis of Vrindavan. So there are these different types of course, this because the font is not installed, it has come. The text 10 is speaking about Bhajankari Madhye Sarvashresht. The best worshipable place is Radhakund, and the best devotee is Srimati Radharani. So you associate uh, with Radhakund, it's as good as association with Radharani. So that's what text 10 is speaking about. And we saw this hierarchy, if you remember. There are these Vikarmis, there is the Karmi, and we'll come to what is this Karmi. And then there is the Jnani. And within this Jnani also, there is a Jnana Vimukta. There is a Jnana Vimukta. One by the process of Jnana has become Mukta. And this is Bhakti Parama. The Bhakta is Bhakti Parama. He's become a Bhakta, Jnani has become a Bhakta, and then he has become Bhakta Parama means he has attained Siddhi. And he's now a Premi Bhakta. Prema Nishta, Premeka Nishta it is mentioned. And among the Premi Bhaktas, they are the gopis. And Krishna is addressed as Pashupala Pankaja Drisha, one whose lotus eyes are always fixed on the gopis because they are completely surrendered. They're completely surrendered. And among the topmost gopis is Srimati Radharani, and there is no difference between Radharani and Radhakund. So she's called as Prishta. So that's how you can link the hierarchy is given here. So in the Rups Shiksha, which is there in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Mahaprabhu gives this hierarchy also, again from a different way. He speaks about this hierarchy. Maybe I can show you that. Let me see whether I can show this hierarchy to you, because in the Rup Shiksha, it is mentioned how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu begins that in this Brahmanda, there are 84 lakh varieties of species, 84 lakhs. And they are all, this Jiva is wandering in these 84 lakh species. He's just wandering in these 84 lakh species. And then Mahaprabhu goes on to describe that there are these two categories, Stavar and Jangam. Taramade, Stavar, Jangam. Stavar and Jangam. And within the Stavar are like trees, which cannot move. And within the Jangama, there is Tiryak. Tiryak means those who fly in air. There is Jalachar and there is Stalachar. So that's how Mahaprabhu classifies Tiryak, Jalchar and Stalchar. So yeah, it is there, but I'm not able to still access it because I just changed my computer today. It has gone for a servicing. I'm using a different computer, so I'm not able to access all my files. That's the reason I'm having a little difficulty in actually locating the file. Yeah, okay, it's there. Let me open it. So there is a Tiryak and the Jalchar and the Stalchar. Okay, let me open it. Give me half a minute. Let me open this so that you can see it. Okay, give me a minute. Uh, yes, yes, I'm able to get it. So I'm just going to share the file so that you can have a look. Hopefully, it'll be okay. Um, 1 minute, huh? Give me a minute. Just opening it. Oh no. Okay. So okay, I'm just explaining. We'll just hear and then let us see if it comes up. Uh, I'm trying to open that file. I hope I'm sharing with you all the screen. No, okay. So what I was explaining is that there is this gradation which is mentioned in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Just like here it is Vikarmi, Karmi, Jnani, Bhakta, Premi Bhakta, Gopi and Radha. Rani. There it is mentioned there are living entities who are, you know, who are stavar in the 84 lakh species, that is like trees, and Jangam, moving. They are Tiryak, Jalchar, Stalchar. You know, Tiryak means who are moving in the air, that is birds, moving in water, fishes, aquatics, moving on land, reptiles, many animals, human beings. So Manusha Alpajati, Manusha are very less. And then among the human beings, most are what? They are mostly, Shabhar. They are all, mlechas. They are not following any Vedic culture. They are mostly mlechas. So that is the condition of the humans. That's the condition of the humans. So yes, I am able to access this file and I'm just sharing with you all. And yes, yes. Although this is in Hindi, but still it will be useful. And I am now sharing it in the Zoom. Here, here you can see the Vibhag. So there is Nitya Siddha, there is the Nitya Baddha. And then there is Tavar and Jangam. There is Tiryak, like the birds, Jalchar, aquatics, Stalchar. And in that Manush Jati, who are among on the land. Alpatar, Mahaprabhu says they are very less. And then there are Vedanishta, Arya, and Mlechadi. So they don't follow the Vedas or the Yavanas. And in the Vedanishta, there are Veda Mukamane, means they are, although they so called follow the Vedas, but there's external show. That's it. And only among them you find few who are dharmachari, who are actually following the Vedas. वास्तव में वैदिक सिद्धांतों का पालन करते हैं. That means actually they are the followers of Vedas. So they are called as karmis. Karmanishta they are called. They are karmis. And among these millions of karmis, you will find one jnani who is engaged in self-realization. And among millions of such jnanis, you will find a jnana mukta. That is, jnana mukta has been used the word. And among millions of jnanis, you'll find a Krishna Bhakta. That means here is a pure devotee. So this is the same if you see, it's a very same classification, but again from a little different angle. Vikarmi, Karmi, Jnani, Bhakta, Premi Bhakta, Gopis, Srimati Radha. So here a little more hierarchy is given, Premi Bhakta, then the further hierarchy is given in that. And of course, humans from backside, the classification from the different, all the 84 lakhs varieties of species is given. So now I will go to the purport. Before I go to the purport, please look into this chart. And this chart is stating how there is the Sakam Karmis. They're called as Sukarmis. They act piously. They act on the basis of Vedic knowledge. So in that sense, they are superior to Vikarmis, who perform for the satisfaction of Lord Vishnu. They Yagyartha Karmano Anyatra Lokayam Karma Bandhana. They are elevated to the higher planetary systems on the basis of their pious activities, but return to this planet when the results of their pious activities are exhausted. Shine Punya Martalukam. They are, as long as they are attached to fruitive. I don't know how this mistake has occurred. Fruitive. They must accept new bodies, material bodies. Whereas the weak karmis are those who act impiously, act without the guidance of Vedic knowledge. And they are also enjoying sense gratification. Here also they are enjoying sense gratification, but which is according to Vedas sanctioned by the Lord. And that's why they get heavenly pleasures. And they are not appreciated by the learned person. And Prabhupada will quote this Srimad Bhagavatam verse, which we'll go through quickly now. And then they foolishly make plans to become happy in this material world. So this is the difference. But here Prabhupada uses this term karmis in a very generic sense. In the generic sense, he uses it. In the generic sense, he uses it. But karmis can be of two types. One are called as the non-religious materialist, and other are called as the religious materialist. And below this, there can be vikarmis because they act, without harming others. They are very good to others and all. So in that sense, they are non-religious materialist. Whereas the karma kandis are superior. They are religious materialist because they also want to enjoy, but they follow the Vedas. The vikarmis are sinful people who are, only want to enjoy in this material world without following the Vedas, and they go to ultimately hell. Then there are the Gyanis and Bhaktas. Okay, so Prabhupada in his purport, very, very interesting purport we will go through. But up till now, if you have any questions, please raise your hands. Please feel free to raise your hands. Any questions, any clarifications you have up till now? Any questions or any clarifications? Okay, no questions. So then we will continue the discussion. Okay, Prabhupada speaks now starts from the lower state of consciousness, that is the karmis. At the present moment, almost everyone is engaged in some kind of fruitive activity. Now, my question to you is, okay, Prabhupada's statement will hear. Those who are desirous of gaining material profits by working are called as karmis or fruitive workers. Now, are these karmis which Prabhupada is speaking about, are they karma kandis, religious materialist? Raise your hands. What do you feel? What do you think? Shubha Ekshana Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, am I audible?
Yeah, a little more.
Yeah, little more.
Yeah, Prabhu, they are pure karmis only, as per my understanding.
What is this pure
What is this
karmis mean,
pure
Baba?
service?
New term, pure
Means
karmis.
atheist. Atheist.
They are atheists,
They are atheists,
they are
they
materialist.
are materialist.
Yes.
There is difference
There
between
is difference
materialist
between
and
materialist
religious
and
materialist.
religious materialist.
I don't know why is
I don't know
my
why is my
audio was
audio
it's echo.
echo.
Just a minute.
Just a minute, give.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Yes.
Or suddenly, I
Or
don't
suddenly, I
know.
don't know.
Okay, so they
Okay,
are
so they
in
are
one sense.
in one sense.
Is the voice
Is the voice
echoing at your end?
echoing at your end? No, Prabhu.
No. Okay, then
No.
it's fine.
Okay, then it's fine.
So Prabhupada is
So
speaking
Prabhupada
about
is speaking
karmis
about
here.
karmis here.
Yeah. Just Jitendra Prabhuji.
Actually, I was suggesting that Prabhuji should be muted because echoing is from their end.
Okay.
It
Okay,
is
I'll
your
mute
yours.
all.
It is perfect.
Now? Yeah, now it is not. Yes, correct. You're correct. Something happened there. Yeah. Yes. Now it is perfectly fine. It's perfectly working well. So those who are desirous of gaining material profits by working are called karmis or fruity workers. All living entities within the material world have come under the spell of Maya. This has been described in Vishnu Puran. Vishnu Shakti Para Prokta Kshetragakhya Tata Para Avidya Karma Samyaya Tritiya Shakti Rishyate. So Prabhupada is speaking about the Jiva Shakti who is come under the Tritiya Shakti, that is the Bhairanga Shakti. Now, where do you remember our discussion about Antaranga Shakti, Bhairanga Shakti, and the Tatastha Shakti? Where all Prabhupada discussed this? Anyone remembers? In the Nectar of Instruction, where did we discuss this? Where did we discuss this? Anyone remembers? Forgotten. Nectar of Instructions. Where did we discuss this? Anyone? Not chapter 2. Chapter nahi. It is chapter 2, no. Text 2. Atyahara Prayasasya. How Atyahar Prayas, and Prabhupada spoke about these Shaktis. We are obliged to work being under the control of the Bhairanga Shakti. So Prabhupada spoke about that. One has to work, but how one should work so that he doesn't accumulate more. Atyahar. One should only work for the basic needs, simple living, high thinking. That time Prabhupada discussed this. So we see that things go in spiral here, and now a deeper understanding. Sages have divided the energies of the Supreme Personality Godhead into three categories, namely the spiritual, marginal, and the material energy. The material energy is considered to be third class energy, Tritiya Shakti. Those living beings within the jurisdiction of the material energy sometimes engage themselves like dogs and hogs in working very hard simply for sense gratification. Simply for sense gratification. However, in this life, after executing pious activities in the next life, some karmis become strongly attracted to perform various kinds of sacrifice mentioned in the Vedas. So, first, Prabhupada is speaking that in the material energy, everyone is in the jurisdiction of the material energy and they are working like dogs and cats or dogs and hogs just for sense gratification. So, this is, you know, Vikarmis. These are the Vikarmis. And Prabhupada in the next statement, who is mentioning, after executing pious activities, in the next life, some karmis become strongly attracted to various kinds of sacrifice. So here, after executing pious activities is what? These are karmis. And in the next life, they become attracted to performing various sacrifices mentioned in the Vedas. They are karma kandis. Are you getting this point? Please tell me. Or I have to, let me see whether I can use the pen. Hare Krishna. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is that this statement which Prabhupada is mentioning, I'm going to copy it and just insert it here. Prabhupada is speaking here about, actually, in one sense, if you see, he's speaking about, you know, oh my goodness, insert, yeah, text box. He's speaking about V-karmis here. V-karmis. V-karma nahi, V-karmis. And here Prabhupada is mentioning who act piously in the next life. And there are some karmis. So these are again, I'm very poor in all this, but it is important that I have to know this because it helps the student. These are karmis. These are materialists who act. And in this statement, Prabhupada says, become strongly attracted to performing various acts of service mentioned in the Vedas. These are who? They are they are what is called as, anyone knows? Can raise their hands? Anyone knows? Raise your hands. Prashant Shanbag Prabhuji, yes.
Karma Kandis, Prabhu.
Yes, Karma Kandis. These are Karma Kandis. So they are religious materialist. So you saw the subtle difference in all these three categories. Of course, we can make this into front of a flow chart so that it becomes more clear. So here, I want to bring up the concept of sense gratification. I'll just put this here also. Sorry for being so rough, and actually a teacher means should have access to the board. I don't know whether we can have a whiteboard here. There is this option of whiteboard. I've never used it. I'm not seeing it here. Yeah, there is a whiteboard. Okay, there is the whiteboard which has come here. Okay, I'll forget about it. Next time I'll have to learn all this. So, sense gratification, work for sense gratification. So, what is the concept of sense gratification? This is what I want to discuss here. What is the concept of sense gratification? So, this is very important for us to understand the concept of sense gratification. And so we have to understand this conception of sense gratification. What is a conception? Our conception is usually located in our intelligence. It is not in our mind. It might pass through the mind, but the conception is always in the intelligence, you know. And what is this conception of, sense enjoyment? Because the karmis want to enjoy senses. So it is like to enjoy the light from a matchstick. Sense enjoyment is what? It is like trying to enjoy the light from a matchstick. The match is an instrument, right? And it is used to light a candle. Then properly we can use that illumination of the light to illuminate the room. So similarly, sense gratification, trying to enjoy the senses, is like matching, lighting the match. Because when you light the match, how long it will stay for? Very less. And how long it can illuminate? Not for long. So sense gratification or sense enjoyment, if we are doing, then it will not last for long and it is not going to eliminate you, it is going to degrade you. So the senses, just like the lighting of the match stick is an instrument to light the candle. So similarly, the senses are instruments to serve Radha and Krishna. And by serving Radha and Krishna, we get satisfied. And serving our senses for enjoying our senses is dissatisfying, it is flickering, and it is like the light of the match. So we have to have this conception of what is this sense gratification. So I just mentioned this conception of sense gratification. I hope it was clear. Okay. So we'll go ahead in the discussion. Paragraph 3. Prabhupada is continuing here. These, however, in this life or after, suffering, they execute punya karya, but they are enjoying in that punya karya also. Then they come to some religious activity, which is still superior, na? Superior way of enjoyment. Because if you want to go to heaven, you cannot do pious activities and go to heaven. You have to follow the Vedas. So that's how they come to following the Vedas. Superior sense gratification. But of course, by following the Vedas, and that's why now they become karmis. They become karmis. So Prabhupada, further. Thus, on the strength of their pious merits, they are elevated to heavenly planets. Where in the Bhagavad Gita it speaks about elevation to heavenly planets is the goal of the karma kandis. Where does Bhagavad Gita speak about it? Of course, I have to see whether I have Veda base here. Veda base, no Veda base. Okay, I can still go to the internet and access it. Yes, where in the Bhagavad Gita it is spoken? Please let me know. Anyone? Where in the Bhagavad Gita the karma kandi's goal is to, highest goal is to attain Swarga, where it is mentioned? Who will answer this? Who will answer this? Who will answer this? No one. None of you know which verse in the Bhagavad Gita it is mentioned? Chapter 6. No, chapter 6 is Liberation Ashtanga Yoga. Not chapter 6. So it is 2.42-43. Ya imam pushpitam vacha pravadanti avipashchitah vedavadarataha partha nanyat astiti vadina कामात्मन स्वर्ग परा जन्म कर्म फल प्रदान Kriya Vishesha Bhaulam Bhoga Aishwarya Patim Prati. So they are what? Vedavada Rata Partha. And then Swargapara. The highest goal is what? Highest aim is to achieve heavenly planets. So these are the karma kandis. So this is what Prabhupada is speaking here in this verse. And Prabhupada says actually those who perform sacrifices strictly. Oh, again, why this has happened, I have no idea. Animation. Yes. Kindly forgive me for all the little mistakes which are happening today in the presentation because it is a new computer. Oh, actually, those who perform sacrifices strictly according to Vedic injunctions are elevated to the moon and planets above moon. Then Prabhupada speaks about, as mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita, Shine Punye Martya Lokam Vishanti. After exhausting the results of so-called pious activities, now these are pious activities done under the Vedas. So they're not ordinary pious activities. So that's why they can be termed as sukarma. There is karma, there is sukarma, and then there is vikarma. These terms, they again return to earth, which is called Martya Lokam, the place of death. Although such persons may be elevated to the heavenly planets by their pious activities, and although they may enjoy life there for many thousands of years, they nonetheless must return to this planet where the results of their pious activities are exhausted. By enjoying those activities in the heavenly planets, their pious activities are exhausted. This is the position of all karmis, including those who act piously and those who act impiously. Those who act piously according to the Vedas, they go to the heavenly planets, enjoy, and come back to the earth. Those who act piously in this world without following the Vedas, they get birth here only. Those who act impiously against the Vedas, they glide down to the hellish planets and they come to earth. So the position is the same for all karmis, be it vikarmis, be it sukarmis, or be it karmis. On this planet, we find many businessmen, politicians, and others who are simply interested in material happiness. They attempt to earn money by all means, not considering whether such means are pious or impious. Such people are called karmis or gross materialists. So Prabhupada uses this term now, gross materialist. Now he's specifically using this term for those who want to earn money by all means. He's not speaking about those who are karma kandis. So that's what he distinguishes. Among the karmis are some vikarmis who act impiously, people who act without the guidance of Vedic knowledge. Those who act on the basis of Vedic knowledge perform sacrifices for the satisfaction of Lord Vishnu and to receive benedictions from him. Yagyartha karmanonyatra lokoyam karma bandhana. Lokoyam karma bandhana. So here it's very important to understand that Prabhupada here mentions further, in this way they are elevated to the higher planetary systems. Such karmis are superior to vikarmis, for they are faithful to the directions of Vedas and are certainly dear to Krishna. So please remember that, we devotees might sometimes, uh, criticize or speak negatively about the karmis, at least the karma kandis. If you're, if you're criticizing or speaking negatively about them, oh, these are engaged in karma kanda, please remember they are dear to Krishna because they are following the path of Vedas. They are very dear to Krishna. So, and another thing is what are we doing by criticizing or speaking negatively about those who are following the Vedas, who are karma kandis? What happens? Another thing is what? Anyone knows? Raise your hands. Anyone? Prashant Shanbag Rajat Shahi Prabhu. Rajat Shahi Prabhuji, you raised your hand. Yes.
They go to down planets.
You have to speak a little loudly, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, they go to down planets.
You have to type now. I can't. Yes, Prashant Shanwag, Prabhuji. Yes. I have unmuted you from my side.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hmm.
Is it Vaishnava Prad?
Yes. Why it is Vaishnava Aparadh? Is my question to you. How is it
Because
Vaishnava Aparadh?
because they are following the Vedas.
So which among the 10 offenses is you're committing?
mm,
Offense number 4, Shruti Shastra Nindanam.
no, correct. Yeah, Vedas.
Because the Vedas also are Vedas, all the Vedas are given by Krishna.
Krishna. Yeah.
You are criticizing those who are the followers of Veda. Indirectly, you are criticizing the Vedas.
Yes.
You are committing Nam Aparadh, you are committing Vaishnava Aparadh, both.
Yes. Right.
You get it?
Right. Thank you.
This is how subtle it is. So we should be very, very careful. Because one is they are dear to Krishna and you're committing Vaishnava Aparadh. And they are following the Karma Kanda portion of the Vedas. And you're criticizing. So you're committing Nam Aparadh also. Bhagavad Gita 4:11 says, Ye yata mam prapadyante tam sataiva bhajamyam. So Krishna reciprocates. The karmis want to go to heaven. Krishna will reciprocate. The Gyanis want Brahma Jyoti, he'll reciprocate. The Bhaktas want to attain his lotus feet and attain Prema, Krishna reciprocates. As one approaches him, Krishna reciprocates. In whatever way one surrenders unto me, I reward him accordingly. Krishna is so kind that he fulfills the desires of karmis and Gyanis, not to speak of the Bhaktas, not to speak of the Bhaktas. Okay. Although the karmis are sometimes elevated to the higher planet systems, as long as they remain attached to fruitive activities, they must accept new material bodies after death. So here is the crux. They have to rotate in the cycle of birth and death. Sometimes, even in our devotional services, we can be at this level of fruitive activities if we engage in offensive chanting of the holy names. Then it's as good as a pious activity. That's why in the Harinam Chintamani it is mentioned that one who is chanting Namaprad, he can get the highest benefit up to Swarga. One who chants Namabas, he can attain liberation. That is like the Gyani platform. But one who chants Shuddhanam can attain Krishna Prem and go to the spiritual world. So sometimes in our devotional life in ISKCON, we like ISKCON because in ISKCON there is good food, there are nice clothes, there are clean people whom we can associate with, there is good culture, there's very nice philosophy, and we sometimes come to the temple because we want to become the head pujari or we want to become the temple president, you know. Basically, we want to enjoy devotional service for our personal satisfaction. So these can be some subtle contaminations in our devotion that makes us as good as karmis engaged in the sacrifice of Vishnu. And this is a very elevated position because ultimately your sense gratification in devotional service is for serving ISKCON and serving the holy names, but still you're attached to your post and you're a fruity worker. And just like Daksha also was performing a Vishnu sacrifice, but he was very attached to his post and all, and he committed offenses also, and he had to take birth. So that's why we should also, as bhakti yogis, uh, come out of this, sense gratificatory level of our devotional service, which is as good as the karmi level. So this I can say this is as bhakti yoga at the level of karma yoga, practice of karma yoga. So this is what we should come out with. Okay. So this is where I'll end my discussion. No, okay. Okay. I'll end my discussion because time is up and I'm going a little slow here because we need to understand this. And tomorrow we'll continue our discussion on this verse and we'll further discuss more in detail. We'll continue this and the last verse has only 2 paragraphs, which is quite brief. That will take up either tomorrow or day after. So any questions, any clarifications about what we discussed up till now? What? I don't understand this question. We shouldn't do then any seva, Prabhuji. I don't mean that. Initially, because there is sense gratification, contamination in the senses, and while doing devotional service, then these sense gratificatory desires are there. We have to elevate ourselves and come to this higher level of consciousness. So that means we have to cross the Namaprad stage. Otherwise, 10-15 years, we are basically enjoying the facilities what devotional service is providing. And I mentioned that, when we are speaking about Jiva Vegam, let's come and enjoy the prasadam, or I enjoyed the prasad. When you say it's a karmi level of, devotional service, we go and honor prasad for the Lord's satisfaction, not for your tongue satisfaction. If you're still working on the tongue satisfaction, then you've still not controlled your tongue. And that means you're still not able to, come to the Madhyamadhikari platform because a Madhyamadhikari can control the Vegas. So that's the point you have to understand, Rajat Prabhuji. Okay, any other questions anyone has? Okay, so we'll stop for today and tomorrow we'll continue this discussion. Hare Krishna. Shri Updeshamrit ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Rupa Goswami Pad.